Hey guys, thank you so much for being with us here. If this is your first time in my life, my name is Chief Apostle Samuel Jr. I am the apostle and pastor of Apostolic Faith of Jesus Christ Incorporated, and my beliefs are deeply rooted in African tradition. Many of you guys that have been following me, I just take out my time. Most of my lives are done on YouTube and as well as Facebook. I wanted to come on here on TikTok because I haven't been on here in a minute, sharing my lives and sharing my experiences spiritually. I got things to do this evening, but I wanted to come on here and give you guys some understanding of, I personally have been an individual that have been crowned, and I wanted to share my personal experience with this journey with Ocha. I will start this off by saying, sir and ma'am, that I was born with my gifts. I have been blessed to have a lot of experiences with my spirituality by some very professional people, and so therefore I live in a lot of reality when it comes to spirituality. I live in a lot of understanding the process, and I feel like anything, when you don't I'm burning my guard with angel incense. A lot of times when you're especially to all of my Christian people, when you are trying to grow and you're trying to go to different levels, and when you hear a lot of people talk about you can't put new wine in an old vessel, I think a lot of times we don't realize. What's up, Cassandra? How you doing? She said, you look so radiant. Thank you. Blessings to you as well. Thank you so much for being with us. I really want y'all to understand that it is a renewal of mind. Me personally, I thank God for the Padrino that I do have. His level of experience has allowed me to be more proficient when it comes to my crowning and accepting the energy of Oya. And I want to explain this particular Orisha and my interaction. I can't speak for other people. That it parallels a lot with my energy and my frequency. Oya day is Thursday. Jupiter, Jupiterian energy. I'm a Sagittarius. It's very much alignment. And one of the things that I can tell you guys that in my personal experience being crowned in Ocha is the change that this particular energy, this particular Orisha brings in your life, and it removes any obstacles. It cleanses out things, whether you want them to stay or not. This energy comes in to remove obstacles. It brings about change, and this is something like, if you ever heard of the Moldavite crystal, I believe that if you are individual that you are stuck in your ways, if you are not willing to, like Abraham, leave your father's land, do not mess with Oya's energy. Do not mess with Moldavite. Do not mess with Scholasite. Do not mess with Malachite. Certain Orishas, certain energies, if you as an individual are not willing to get on that roller coaster and buckle up and ride that roller coaster, those energies are not, it's going to cause a lot of chaos. And because a lot of times when we ask for blessings or changes in our life, we want things to remain the same, and we want certain aspects of our life to change. So when it comes to my spirituality, I believe in being realistic. I believe in understanding my measure. I believe in understanding my capacity. I believe in to study myself. A lot of times people get into certain things, they don't really have a lot of knowledge when it comes to that. If you guys have not had the opportunity of joining my YouTube account, a lot of my videos that I teach on there, I'm more explicit on my YouTube channel than I'm here. What's up there? Oh my God, yeah, I'm trying to give you guys, I'm trying to come back on TikTok. It's just that I'm a very vocal person, and I like the freedom of being able to use my language and my verbiage the way I want to. So as a Sagittarian, thank you so much for the lightning. I don't necessarily like to be restricted, and TikTok restricts me to actually operate in my full personality. So a lot of my videos sit on there. I changed my name from Afro High Priestess to Divine Soul. Oh, okay. Thank you. But thank you guys. And so let me tell y'all something. In the practice of dealing with Orishas and understanding the creative energy that they are, Oya has brought a lot of creativity to my life. And seeing one of the things, if you I don't have my picture up here, but on some of this you'll see that she has mask. Oh, I don't know who all these people are trying to no, that's not what I'm here for. Oya takes off the mask. You know, as a Sagittarius, you know, we like to see people for who they are, even though we're optimistic, dealing with a certain level of truth. And Oya will, people around me that I probably knew that they were certain types of way, but they're like, Oya like takes the mask off. Like, they take the makeup off, the whatever enhancement. No, you see the raw individual. One of the things that I have been forced to see how people really feel, how people really think, how people really feel about my practice. A lot of energies that I didn't see as a threat. I'm gonna say that I didn't see as a threat because I felt so well protected. But dealing with Alafia, dealing with Oya's energy, you deal with betrayal, and people don't really call it not doing their part. Yeah, a lot of people. Thank you so much, USA. Egon, I think I read that right. A lot of people do not embrace that particular Orisha's energy. I think that, like, just like Christianity, I feel like people have things that represent her. I think people have, like, they represent the cross with the crucifixion and all of that. Same thing in Ocha. I feel like more people are about formality than actual energy. I believe in real magic. I believe in the magic or energy of that frequency. So Oya rules the cemetery, also the marketplace, also change the wind. And just recently received her sister Ayao, which they are air elements. And so when you embrace this energy, I would say to many of you guys, or if you work with a practitioner or spiritualist that's been crowned by Oya, and they understand the magic of that particular Orisha and how that Orisha, like me, I've been naturally working as a necromancer. I like to say necromancy. But working with the dead. When I got scratched in Palo, Centea is my mother in Palo. Most of the spirits that I initiated in or that I participated in are all dealing with ancestors, taking care of ancestors, or working with their the Eguns or the Moretos or the deceased, the dead. And if you don't have a personal respect for your natural family, it is going to be very difficult for you to show that same regard for your spiritual family. And taking care of people naturally is no different than taking care of people spiritually. And when it comes to your altars and not understanding the relationship, when you have very poor mannerisms when it comes to family, like sometimes in your family you feel like mom and dad is supposed to do certain things because you're their child. Well, you take that mentality right into working with your ancestors. You think they're supposed to protect you, provide for you, just because you are their child, when it don't work like that. It's I think it has a lot to do with misinformation. And like I said, I'm a spiritualist myself, so I'm going to use myself as example. We are the ones that show, just like Christians show people how they believe that Christ and his teachers are, right? When we are in certain ATRs, African traditional religion, how we exemplify that. Yes, I see. Yeah, I know. How we exemplify that particular energy. If you get involved in something and you don't really know yourself and why you relate to that particular Orisha, and then when you do your ceremonies or you speak on that particular deity or spirit, a lot of times, just like in natural relationships, if a man or woman feel like, oh, you my husband, you my wife, you're supposed to do that. Well, a lot of people feel that same thing about Orishas. They actually treat Orishas like they're their slaves, instead of that these are entities that govern and guide you. There are consequences. Like, nobody had to tell me about responsibility when I got into Ocha, because I was raised up understanding there's nothing called free. I understood in order to get something out of something, I had to put something in. And so my padrino never had to go through certain things with me, because I had a base of respect for spirituality, period, because I had a base of respect for myself. Whether you do hoodoo, whether you do voodoo, whether you do Santeria, Lukumi, Congo, Palo, whether you're mystic, shaman, at the end of the day, there are certain, that's why I teach universal laws, because I was able to benefit, even as a Yabo, very much from my crowning and recognizing the change. Then after recognizing the change, I was able to embrace the energy and because I was aware. This is why I still believe, I don't care if you're not a Christian, I believe you should study to show yourself approved. I do realize that there are certain things you cannot learn unless you have a padrino or some oba or somebody in that particular tradition, a madrina or somebody to teach you. But there's a lot of information out there. So when somebody is talking, you have a general idea. You may not have an in-depth idea of what they're talking about, but you have a general idea. And just like in a school setting, it is easier to follow the teacher when you personally have studied. You might not know all of the things that go along with Ocha, or all the things that go along with voodoo, or all the things that go along with shaman, being a shaman, or like I like to do Kabbalah, work with the Kabbalah, or hoodoo, or any of these ATRs that are out here. Being interested in something and getting information about it, so when somebody that is a proven vessel of or representation of that particular energy, frequency, or vibration, that you can follow them better. I feel like a lot of people, they're only looking for spells, they're only looking for conjure, so they're not trying to look at this as a lifestyle. To me, spirituality, no matter if you're an Ifa, Voodoo, Santeria, Lukumi, Congo, whatever, it's a lifestyle. And people that live this as a lifestyle work with the Orishas or the Impungos or the Moretos or the Eguns. Very different than people that just come in and say, you know what, I got issues going on with my court case. Can you talk to Sean? Could you work with Shankar? The Divine Soul said that is who I am. Yeah. And this is the stuff like I have I had to get this is a talisman from my that I use offer Shango. This is a lifestyle, so this would not be, me being an Ocha wouldn't be no different if I'm in hoodoo. I would have a gree bag, or if I'm dealing with a Kabbalah or the Goisha, I would have certain talisman. I believe in talisman and amulets. So in magic, if you understand your energy, then I know that I tell people all the time, if you're not ready for change, I'm not the spiritualist for you. If you're not ready for transformative work, if you're not ready to deal with your shadow, I'm not the spiritualist for you. If you're not ready to take responsibilities for the reality by which you live in, I'm not the spiritualist for you. I'm not a victim mentality spiritualist. So I always feel like where there's a will, there's a way. And so when we are doing conjure or we're doing spirituality, a lot of times people don't realize you take your personality into your work. If you don't like to follow instructions, you don't like to be subjugated in your opinion upon other people, you feel like you already know, I'm still not the spiritualist for you, because a lot of things I learned up under people. I didn't learn due to books. I didn't learn due to social media, even though I love social media myself, but I am not out here looking for validation. Don't have to know how, just knowing it's already done. Yeah. A lot of time people feel like they are being scammed. Let me give you an example of why a lot of people are not being scammed. They just call it scam. And this is the main reason. If you have not done your personal work, then you cannot be drawn to the teacher. A lot of people out here looking for information, and you're not looking for a teacher. You're claiming to be a student when you're not looking for a teacher. In order to draw certain things into your life, you must be exactly what you are looking for. And so therefore, there is at no time, even though I am a fully grown adept spiritualist in other traditions, me and my padrino do not get into it, because I don't walk into that acting like I know all of Ocha. You know what I'm saying? I just showed up 2 days ago. All of a sudden now I can't hear him because I see spirits. I can't hear him because I hear spirits. I can't hear him because I know spells. That's ignorant on your part. That's like paying for a class, knowing you need that class for a degree, but you're not there to learn, so you can't get nothing out of it. And on top of that, you're going to hinder or try to hinder other people that's there to learn. Most people that get into these ATRs, they're not trying to learn. You're not trying to be a student of your craft. Because the sounds on it sounds good, and the aesthetic of it. Yeah. I understand that in the age, especially people that are not old school, and let me explain what I mean by old school, y'all. Old school is understanding how to make stuff from scratch. Anybody that makes things from scratch knows it takes time. Anybody that do real raw magic, they know it takes time. That's including creating real candle work, doing protection work. They know that there are certain things they got to get. You know, we don't mind going to the ocean. We don't mind going to the graveyard. We don't mind going to the hills. We don't like. Real spiritual people don't mind getting their hands dirty because they want the raw essence of the thing, because they know that raw essence hold energy. And we're not doing all that conjure and to put it in plastic where that energy seeps out. That's why we work with jars. We like real thick jars. We like brown bottles, like this one brown, like a real conjurer. We like them brown bottles. Y'all can keep them bottles you can see through, unless you're doing other kind of spells. But like, you know, my eucalyptus. We love the brown bottle because just like people that know how to naturally make a banana, they're gonna put that banana in a dark space. We understand darkness creates life. It creates ripen them brown bottles. Yes, sir. Does that mean making your own candles instead of buying them? No. Let me say it like this: if you are a skilled magician, you are the energy. You are the power plant. You are the essence of your manifestation. What happens is when we are harnessing things, we want, like I have this quartz. If I'm in a certain elevation, I'm working with certain spirits, I like to use clear quartz to harness my energy in that particular thing. So because I'm not always in that vibration, I'm not always in that frequency. So just like we use the natural chips to store information in, we store information or light energy or whatever type of energy that we working with. And so I harness that energy, so when I'm not in that mood or I'm not in that frequency, I still have something that has that particular energy, and then I can transfer that energy as I so will. But we understand that, and so learning is an everyday thing. Every day I wake up in a new Sunday. Every day I wake up in a new Monday. Every day I wake up I realize that there's a purpose for that particular energy to be operating at. It said, yep, and praying as the sun rises. Yeah, and let me tell y'all something. Like, it was normal to me. Getting up before the sun rose was normal. I see that a lot of people that do conjure now, they don't have nothing for those type of time. You know, we call them prayer hours. Some people call them witching hours. It just was a normal thing that if you had work to do, you got up before the sun got up. If you had certain things to do, you did it up under the night time. There are certain things that you did that like I see people, like, say for instance, they do hoodoo work with their Bibles. Then you can't find it about dick. You got most people that claim to practice hoodoo, and they can't even tell you where their Bible at. They can't even tell you where their spiritual tools at. You know, these people don't, like, you spending money on spiritual objects and you don't even know where they at. You don't try to harness the energy. You don't try to. It's like buying milk, utilizing the milk and leaving it out on the counter. I can't take your practice seriously. Spirituality, yes, I can take that serious because energy. But you actually, how the way that you practice spirituality, I can't take that serious because you have no respect or regard for the investment in the energy. So that's from knowledge, that's from readings, that's from the expectancy of when I got involved in that. I did my own research. I did a lot of study. I talked to people that were experienced. I got around people that were already crowned. Oh yeah. And so learning around healthy environments also gives you an edge on a lot of people. Trying to figure stuff out and you don't know what questions to ask. You don't know to even ask the question because you don't know. And to actually worry about being scammed out here, change your energy. Change your mindset. Ask yourself, what is my ancestry? I have Geechee in my background. I have Haitian in I have quite a few. My people very hoish. So I got a plethora of things in my bloodline. Oya is a river goddess. Oya being a goddess of the Niger River. Let me say this. When you deal with water spirits and they manifest, but they also have jurisdiction of other aspects of life, you also got to understand the nature of water. And you got to know the difference between river water and ocean water. When you're dealing with that particular energy of Oya, it is about manifesting to feed. Because everything about Oya is to serve and to cater. You know what I'm saying? Oya is an entity that does not mind standing beside her man, or in the case, man or woman. You know, that energy, if it's on your life, you are a very responsible person and you feel responsible for people. A lot of times people saying they have certain energies, it should match your personality, because that's the whole purpose of being claimed by that Orisha, because like attract like. That Orisha that sits on your head guides your mentality, but it should embrace the energy that you have within self. So you and that Orisha or that Ori should actually be in alignment. And so when I go to the water, when I go to an energy, I understand that first of all, it's life-giving. I believe that a lot of people do not, and this is another thing. I'm just saying, I'm crowned Oya as a male, right? But why does not, are you a Tata? Yes, I am. I am Scratched Impala. This is my personal belief. I ain't throwing off on nobody. Now listen, I don't know why as a crown individual, why I don't have love for Oshun children. Why I don't have love for Oba's children. Why don't I have love for Ogun's children? A lot of times, just like in Christianity, you may be a Presbyterian, you may be a Lutheran, you may be a Baptist, but you all supposed to be believing in Christ Jesus, right? If everybody in Ocha is believing in Olodumare or Lofi, then whatever aspects or emanation of whether it is Olodumare, whether it is Oshun, whether it is Eligwa, whether it is we all know we come from that same light, and so we manifest differently because we have different responsibilities. It's just like having an auntie and an uncle, one a male, one a female, but they both hold the same relationship to you. Or you having a cousin versus a nephew. These are extensions of Olodumare. And then when it comes down to the practice, yes, some energies are like certain ingredients. They blend better, some don't blend good. That don't mean that they're not important. A part of the responsibility of the recipient of that energy is to understand how you're going to manifest Oya's energy. A lot of my energy is about working with people's ancestors. A lot about my energy is catering and making sure that people are able to embrace change. A lot of times it's about renewal, because also the serpent is there. A lot of y'all don't realize that a lot of these Orishas and these spirits of deities are snake spirits, transformative energy. We all started out as semen, which is a serpent. And that's why we talk about, some people talk about the Kundalini energy, the serpent energy. A lot of this transformative energy, the wisdom, snakes represent the wisdom. So when you're talking about Oya, you're still talking about serpentine energy. You're still talking about being able to flow with energy. And then this is another thing I found even in the church world. People doing work on you. People sending you, doing conjure for you. This ain't nothing negative. But they do this conjure for you, right? You don't even know how to receive the blessing. You don't even know how to flow in the energy, because all you want is, in your mind, I need some help. I need somebody to lift something. But how many people sit in the midst of somebody crown Yemiya, crown Obatala, crown Eligwa, crown Oya, and you don't receive the benefit because you're so narrow-minded that the only thing that you are loyal to is the need that you have, instead of embracing the energy. One thing that I go around, my Padrino, one of them are crown Obatala. I embrace that energy, even though I'm Crown Oya. I benefit because I understand how to flow in that energy. I benefit because I've studied that energy. I also benefit because I honor that energy and I respect that energy. I go to my other Padrino. He's a Crown Iligua. If it would be no different if I was dealing with a Mambo or a Hugon, if I was dealing with a Tata. I understand that in order for me to walk into a space to see the energy over a man or woman and then turn around and get blessed by that energy simply because I have an understanding. Simply because I have a atoms, Eve is electron, the serpent is Kundalini, Genesis is about energy. I agree with you, Royal, but at the end of the day, that's information. How do you tap into the atoms? How do you understand frequency and vibration? How do you turn around and utilize that energy? Because with all this information that is coming out here, that does not mean that you know how to harness that energy and that power. Because at the end of the day, if we were as knowledgeable as we have claimed to be in the age of Aquarius, then a lot of us will understand how it is connected. And so therefore, I can have a plug all day, but if I ain't got nothing to stick in that plug, then nothing happens. For every reaction, there's an opposite and equal reaction. The idea that I understand as a child of Oya and understand my energy and what I bring to the table, I also know how to embrace the energy of Shango. I also know how to embrace the energy of Iligua. I still understand, even though I may be, just like going to a family reunion where it's different aspects of the family. But they're all family, but they, say for instance, like my last name is Ely, right? Then I might still have a cousin that's named Brown. Or I might have another cousin that's named the Johnson. It's all connected. But the only family you worried about is the Elys. That's narrow-minded. When you go into Ocha, remember you're going into a pantheon of energy, of family. If you go into Voodoo, it's a pantheon of spirits. It is a family of spirits. A lot of the titles that we use, just like there's more than one Oshun, just like there's more than one Oya, there's more than one Ezeli Frida, more than one Ezeli Dontor, because there's different aspects right in that same entity, that same Orisha, that same goddess. But say for instance, I'm using an example, we're talking about the river. If you're on the north end of the river, right, and I'm on the south end of the river, why do you think you at a different river because you connected to that river differently than I did? Why do you think that I'm dealing with a different Niger river just because you're on the north end and I'm on the south end? That all of that river, whether it's the beginning of that river or the middle of that river, it's all the same river. That's not how we operate in Ocha. We operate based off, this is my house, this is my Madrina, this is how they taught me how to do the elbows, this is how my Padrino uses their gift, and this is how they did their misas, and we narrow our experience. But we say that Ola Damari created all things. Why would you box your spirituality and your experience? The reason why I have grown and evolved so, and that's also a part of Oya Inner evolving, is that I embrace different aspects of self. I embrace the different aspects of spirituality. I understand that I can't be out here saying that Divine Mother or Father have no limit, no bound, and then limit it. Every practice brings something to your, it's like going into a gym. Going into that gym and all these machines are there. Depending on what you want to work on, that's what gets developed. But if you spend the rest of your life in the gym working on your legs, you got the big legs and a little chest. And when we was coming up, we used to call them Mr. Peabody. Some men go in there, they just work on their chest. They got these big old arms and big old chest and little bit of legs. Because same thing spiritually. Depending on what you develop and how you go into hoodoo, voodoo, Santeria, Lakumi, and what you willing to work on. Because remember, some of y'all might be like me in the gym. I go in there and look at people and I like, let me give me a smoothie and I'm gonna sit down here a little while and then I'm leaving. I ain't gonna do. I was like, listen here. I be looking at myself where I don't really need it like that. Sometimes you don't develop because you think you don't need certain things. Some things you don't listen to because you think you already know. So in my experience of dealing with Oya's energy, it has a lot to do with me transforming. It had a lot to do with me embracing the raw essence of enlightenment, because she represents lightning, but it has a lot to do with enlightenment. And I don't know how you can be enlightened and still behave the same. I don't know how you can be an enlightened and still interact with the same type of energies and people. I don't see how you can be an enlightened and not grow up and mature. I don't see it, because certain things, even though I have certain temperament, I understand that there's accountability for me to be a leader in this particular religion. And it is also understanding that I'm a fierce person. I don't apologize from being how I am. What I do is I enunciate who I am, so you have the opportunity to choose to embrace it or reject it. At the end of the day, it doesn't make or break me. And there's too many people getting out here in the spiritual community wanting validation. And how can I be a child of Oya and looking for validation? That ain't even my personality. And when people have a problem with my presence and my force, that don't bother me either, because that's what I mean by when you're enlightened of self. When you understand your energy, your frequency, your vibrations, and if people are there to learn or grow, then they can embrace it. What would you say about a child of Yemaya? I think, this is my opinion, from my experiences working with Yemaya, I think that Yemaya is highly underestimated. I think that understanding ocean, the body, it's almost like, I look at Yemaya as like the body of Christ, right? Because all life comes from the ocean, right? And so when you don't understand your energy and the vastness of your energy, and being a mother, or being a energy that is supposed to be definitely not. Oh yeah, right. Yeah. When you're a child of the mother of the ocean, it's about the days when you are providing. It is the days when the waters are cold. There's a tsunami out on the water. Like the power of Mother, just like we talk about Mother Earth, you have to look at Yemaya or who else? Madre Agua in the same context. That is the cemetery as well. The ocean gives life and death. The scripture without comes to my mind is in the Bible. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. A child of Yemaya should respect life and death. Also bring life and death. I think that a child of Yemaya has creatures that are poisonous in her, and she also has creatures that you can consume. You know, so I believe that when it comes down to energy and frequency and vibration, it's about what's inside a child of Yemaya versus what they project on the outside. Because it is about what's inside the ocean that brings life or death versus what's on top of the water. Most of people don't know they're in danger until the shark fin go to the top. But the shark been inside Yemaya's child the whole time. A lot of times people don't even know that they're in danger when it comes to a child of Yemaya. Or they don't even know how much a person of Yemaya may love you, because a lot of things are within her. And when you understand the physical aspect, then you understand the energy spiritually. Does Yemaya, hold on, somebody said something. Good point, Apostle. But doesn't Yemaya manifest in different energies, like call him? I think that this is what I want to say. Everything in the universe is interconnected, right? Because I'm gonna comment about Yemaya energies and Kali Ma and Mama Bridget. Let me say this. I got uncles and aunties on both sides of my family. I got aunties. I got one auntie, ain't finna give me no money, but she gonna tell me all the jokes in the world on my mama's side. I got another auntie. She always been there for me. She gonna always do. And when she helped me and I get where I need to go, she gone. She don't ask for nothing. She just, that's how she's all my life. That's all. I'm 50, almost 51 years old. She always been like that. Anytime she's a Capricorn. Anytime I've ever been in a situation, she always have been there. That's how it has been in my life. Okay. I got another auntie. When she own, she'll give, but you got to watch her, because just like she'll give, she'll take. On my dad's side, I'm not that close to them, but they still my aunties. The reason why I brought that up is because when it comes to spirituality, things may relate, but they're not the same. The reason why we want to keep certain things because those energies have a family. Palo has a family of spirit. Voodoo has a family of spirit. In those sciences, in those cultures, they have developed their ancestor energy in voodoo or in hoodoo. And so therefore there's a family of spirits in that culture of how they utilize that same energy of yin and yang, but they utilize it very differently. And it should be okay with you because how you cultivate, because that's what I call culture, how you cultivate your energy or your frequency, your vibrate, it's up to you because it's your energy, it's your capacity. And depending on your level of maturity or experience, you may not cultivate yourself, or you might be the type of person you in there and you're cultivating yourself at the highest levels. And so you're going to experience yin and yang in ways that other people don't. And that's good. But what I have found out is in these days and time, my personal opinion, we don't have a personal pride about learning things from scratch. And when you don't have a very strong foundation, it's only so high you can go up before the outside world start affecting what you're doing. When you got when you're rooted and grounded into in your particular practices, whatever they may be, you have to have a foundation and then build on that foundation. To people, I normally say this. In my experience, I've had very positive experiences in my journey, even though some of the people were no good in Ocha, because I've run across a lot of crooks, liars, and whatever. But it never made me miss out on what God has for me. Now, if you are struggling, this is the truth. If you are struggling with addition and subtraction, you are not ready to go on to division and multiplication, because each one of those mathematical equations build on the next. Same thing with spirituality. If you're struggling with certain basics in hoodoo or voodoo or Santeria, whatever your foundation is, and you know that you have not even got to the point where you are very clear about how spirit is speaking in, you know, dealing with you, you're not understanding how your spirit's moving your court, you're not ready to go on here trying to do work. A lot of people don't want a job if it go there. The reason why the Ocha community and a lot of these other communities suffer, because we have a lot of irresponsible people. If you have something going for yourself, it is more easier for you to want to see somebody else have it going on in their life. But when you are dirt poor or you are economically challenged, they're at the basic level of humanity, you're in survival mode. So you're more apt to lie, you're more apt to deceive, you're more apt to not be fair. Not everybody, but I'm just trying to tell you the temptations when you don't understand enough about yourself, and then now you're looking for this madrina or this padrino to be something to you that your dad wasn't to you, or be something to you that your family wasn't to you, or be something to you that your husband or wife or your boyfriend or girlfriend wasn't to you. And that's really not that what they're there for. They can't even spend time teaching you the practice for dealing with your emotional upsets or your need for some type of validation, or did I do a good job, did I baby, you grown. They got theirs. You need to get yours. Now you out here thinking everybody trying to take money. You want to become a doctor in the medical field, but you every time they tell you the books cost, you talking about somebody trying to rob you or scam you. Every time they tell you that you got to go and do volunteer work at the hospital because you got to get your hours in, you feel like somebody using you. You're not mature enough for spirituality. That's my opinion. And it's my personal opinion. That's why a lot of times people getting into it in these elays and coven, because people don't see the maturity and the responsibility that you have to come to class to learn. In college, they don't care if you don't show up. They already got paid. They don't care. It's just the truth. I do spell work. I understand if I get an award with somebody, that like people that are not responsible, that's why you in fights with everybody, because you don't realize, especially in Palo, focus, get and learn, because of the Congo is about that big. Yeah. And let me say this, just piggybacking off of what Osu is saying, because let me tell you this. There are certain types of magic that are more serious. Let me take that back. No, not the word serious. The consequences of disobedience, the ramifications of you getting hurt or killed is higher with certain types of sciences out there, okay? When you are a hard-headed person, it's certain practices you shouldn't be involved in. When you have a lack of respect for boundaries and people and their experiences, it's just certain people you should not be in the company of, right? There, in all of our families, we know them people that we can play with, and we know them aunties, uncles, and daddies and mama we can't play with. Everybody got them people that you know when you go to their house or come to their cookout, or they ain't tolerant. There are certain practices that the spirits of that practice alone are not to be. The head games you playing over there will get you hurt over there. And just thinking that you can put your hands in every cookie jar because you feel like it, that comes with consequences. That comes with consequences. I feel like, I understand that Oya is a very serious deity. I know that Oya when she says something, she means what she says. I have recently received her sister, and so therefore I know with great power comes great responsibility, and nobody should have to tell you that. Nobody should see me out here picking frivolous fights with people because I'm Crown Oya, or trying to send out spirits or egoons or got somebody because somebody don't like me, or trying to ruin somebody's life because they don't want to have intimacy with me. Like, the level of childishness that I see out here, and we're representing him. The only thing that, just like in Christianity, the only God people see is the people that represent that God. The same thing when it comes down to the Orisha. We the ones say that we're crown and we represent. If I'm in any of practice, and I go into the lives of a lot of my people that I like in there, and I get a chance to go into their live, I go and show love. I do my thing, because lifting you up lifts me up. Putting a smile on your face puts a smile on my face. I have absolute, like, we are not embracing. Let me say this before I finish. To my sisters, my melanated sisters, get over yourself. Stop undermining other melanated women on this app, because you're teaching other practitioners, spiritualists, that is the proper behavior of a elder. And if it is okay for you as a grown person to throw at somebody out of jealousy or envy, because if they are phony, if they are fake, if they weed, whack, whatever, that person will find that out. God did not, Olodumare did not choose or call you. Sometimes fake people need to be with fake people. Sometimes the blind need to be with the blind. You're not for everybody. You are not for everybody. Every practice ain't for everybody. And it is so important that a lot of these personal prejudices are sifted out of the ATRs. Because when I do work for a lot of my clientele base, I'm gonna say at least 85% of the time I'm removing some dirty work some woman did to another woman. It is not a lot of men out here doing dirty work. It's a lot of women wearing white, as I'm wearing white, as a Yabo, that are doing very, and then if they can't do it if y'all can't do it to each other spiritually, then you badmouth each other. You're representing that particular genre, and so therefore when a man like me comes along and I'm watching this, but you on the public forum talking about honoring black women and women in general, and then behind the scenes you doing all this dirt. Well, I see it. You're not gonna be the prettiest woman, the finest woman, just like I ain't gonna be the best looking man, the finest man in the. Get over yourself, and everybody ain't meant to make $1 million. Everybody ain't meant to make $100,000, and that's cool. Get in where you fit in, and don't hate on the next sister, because a lot of the problems that we see is just bad representation. You still are gifted. Nobody can take that from you. You still are talented. Nobody can take, but we can't acknowledge that the behavior is not good. And so therefore we find ourselves in these frivolous wars, and then when other people see it, the young people think that this is the way you do it. I'm just saying, if you out here tying up every man that you get in a relationship with because you don't know how to behave as a wife or a side piece, then the younger women or younger men, gay, straight, or bi, find themselves doing magic in Ifa, Voodoo, Santeria, Lukumi, Congo, Palo, the same way, because the people that are going before, the people that represent it, that's what we are doing. I'm just telling you, it's nothing wrong with the practices. It's nothing wrong with Ifa, Voodoo, Santeria, Christianity. It is us that represent it, and then we have not developed ourselves, and we get in these cliques. Then we get a common enemy because they didn't do something we wanted to do, and all of a sudden we get all these witch wars, and now all these babes think that that's what Ifa is all about, or that's what Conjure is all about, or that's what Palo Miambe is all about, or that's what Ocha is all about. And true to certain man, it's not what that is. It's us that did not have the opportunity to get attention when we were little, and now we on social media and we get a little attention. We can't let that go. It ain't got nothing to do with Obatala, Oya. The Orisha don't care nothing about that stuff. Just like if the Orisha don't care about people's sex life, they most certainly don't care that Sister Susan don't like Sister Minnie. You the one that got a problem that Sister Minnie don't like you. And you need to acknowledge that you, yourself, not the Orishas, not the Loas, that the Impungo, you don't like that she don't like you. And you as a grown woman need to go and straighten that with Sister Minnie and stop making that an Orisha issue when it's just your issue. It's just grown people stuff. That's why I don't talk freely like I like to talk until I'm on YouTube. Because at the end of the day, just like in this country, we give children too many rights. We give too many people rights to stop your lie because they don't want to hear the truth. They can find an offense with what you said. When at the end of the day, that's what Sagittarius energy is. It's here to give you the truth. If you get offended, that ain't my issue. But I do real magic. And I got to be responsible for my energy. And I'm not tying my energy to any and everything. And when you're real conjure, when you look over your life and think about the body of work you did, are you proud of that? Are you proud of that you keep breaking up homes trying to get somebody, a man or woman, that ain't going to treat that man or woman right once they get them because they think that man or woman should be their slave and put up with their stuff? Are you proud that you keep somebody on a job that's out there causing that company money that they ain't really going to do what they supposed to do, and they're going to keep having you doing work? Like, is that the legacy as a spiritualist, whether you're an Ifa, Voodoo, child of Oya, child of Oshun, a child of Yemiya? That's the legacy of the body of work you want to leave behind? Hey, you grown. Do it your way. But me, not me. Huh? I want somebody that resonate with me, want to work, want to do what they need to do. And so therefore, when I look over there, you know, if I got you out of jail, you ain't back in jail no more. If I got you out of a dilemma, you ain't back in that more, because you done growed up, you done learned from your experience, you done embraced your evolution. But me, keep doing, I'm 50 years old. I'm not going to keep doing something over and over and over again just to say that I do spiritual work. I'm giving out all this knowledge with understanding, and yet you're going to choose to be ignorant. I can't deal with you. So that's the change that Oya has brought in my life. It's an energy that brings fierceness to the play. I thought I was serious. I'm more serious now than I have ever been. I'm more motivated. I'm more driven now than I have been. And that's not because my Padrino is holding my hand. I'm a grown man, Yabo or not. I'm a grown man. You a grown woman. Make up in your mind what you want and figure out what spiritualist is good for you. There's, just like at a college, there's more than one math teacher. You ain't got to make the school or nothing to nobody because you don't click with a certain teacher. If you need that credit, go find you a teacher in that curriculum, same curriculum, teaching that same course, and get in that class. But after a while, you're going to have to acknowledge that it ain't the teacher, it's you just not a good student. You want every teacher to understand why you late to class. You want every teacher to understand why you don't have your assignment. You want every teacher to understand why you forgot your book. Want every teacher to understand that you got into it with your baby daddy. You want every teacher to understand why you got to work and you got to take care of your mom and dad. Like that. If they did that for everybody, nothing will get done. Know what you walking into. Be grown about that. And if you're going to get an Ocha, make sure that you can actually serve. Make sure that you have the mindset of serving your Orisha, serving your Egun, serving Pala, whatever it is that you do. And understand, it all takes money. It all takes responsibility. I taught my children. I got 3 sons. I taught them that sex is a financial decision. It's not about pleasure. It's a financial decision, because once you create a life in there, that's taking money. To take her out, and treat her, gay straight about, it's the same thing. It takes resources, and when you have to explain that to a grown person, that's a maturity thing. I don't have time to explain to grown people what they need to do for them, and that are they willing to do that for themselves. And no other spiritualist that it's enough to do your work than to be out here trying to convince you that you need to do that for yourself. That you need a therapist. You don't need a spiritualist. A lot of y'all out here searching for reading. You need a therapist and a spiritualist, because you're broken in too many spaces and you don't have the information to heal yourself. I'm just being real with you. That's what I mean by embracing. I gotta go, y'all, because I got some clients I got at 7. But I really hope that anything that I've said in my experience being crowned Oya makes you take your spirituality more real. And if you're not in a position to be out here serving people, don't do that, because you can't help nobody when you can't help yourself, and you can't share information when you don't have no experience. And most people, just like in the church world, all they can share with you is going through. They can't tell you how to get through nothing. They just tell you about what they experience, because they have not mastered anything, because they never sat down long enough to achieve that. They never sat down long enough to build their foundation so they can go as high as they need to go. Just being real with you. I hope y'all got something out of this. Thank you so much. If you have not joined my YouTube channel, I have a lot of information on there. I have Patreon. I have a lot of things in my bio that you can click on. And if you want some of my services, go to my website. Like I said, I do all different types of conjure. I do magic. I'm not into the form or the fashion. I like to manifest. So that's my experience since I've been crowned Mafetefun Oya and embraced in my Etab. Oshun was also, I had to accept Oshun as my mother as well, and Yemiya is my second mother. They told me, just like I claim Oya, I have to also claim Oshun. If somebody asks me am I a child of Oshun, I still have to say yes. If somebody asks me if I'm a child of Oya, I have to say yes. That's how it came out for me. Answer my question. Answer your question about what, darling? That was kind of rude, though. Guess you don't know how to talk to a man. And I hope y'all realize that I don't see all this stuff that's going on here. And if it was that important, you would get a consultation. I don't see your question. I don't even know where your question is. You just confirmed my question with more than one crown. Can you receive more than one crown? Yes. I think if that's your question. But that's not for everybody. It was in my Etab. I think that people out here doing stuff because they, and I'm just gonna say it like this, in our culture, and this is being honest, it's monkey see, monkey do. Some stuff ain't got nothing to do with your spirituality or your spiritual core. You're only doing it because you saw somebody doing it. One woman wear blonde wig with blue eyes. Next thing you know, everybody on the ship doing it because you feel like you can rock it better than her. We don't really stay in our lane. Like when it comes to spirituality, if we feel like somebody else, God or spirit or ancestor got somebody doing it, we start copycat. You know, if she can wear tight jeans like that with the blue, I'm gonna show her how to really do it because I feel like I'm shaped better than her. You know, and they also do that in spirituality. It's not even because it's in the cards for you. It's not even because it was meant for you. You only doing it because you've seen somebody and in your mind, you're more qualified than them. And if they can do it, you can do it. All right. I got to go. Thank you so much for your time. Follow me on YouTube.